Hey guys, welcome back. A bunch of questions this week about how I go about running two amps together or setting up two amps. So I'll just give you an insight of what I use myself and what I found works. So here I have 1964 Diaz Pro, modified by Cesar Diaz. So it's a 1964 Pro amp that's been fully modified by Cesar Diaz. And I have a 1968 Fender Super Reverb that's been modified by Tommy Cougar. Now, if you'll notice, the settings on these are quite different, because what I'll do when I run two of them, you know, this one has a 15-inch speaker, so I'll allow more bass to go into this amp because I want to hear the low-end thump of the 15-inch speaker. And this amp, I want to hear the lush cleans, so I really set it up that way. So it's basically two amps, not trying to get twice the amount of volume, but to get an all well-rounded sound, you know, to sound full. And then hooking them up, I don't usually jump them channel to channel because that's not really the best way to do it. And even the way I do it sometimes is not really, you know, amazing, but I just use a passive splitter. So I go into the splitter, 2 outs. My splitter has 4 outs, so I can go anywhere I want with it. You know, I can run more amps or the 2 heads if I wanted to. I like the passive because I think it just keeps your tone pure. The ones that are active, they do have a buffer and they kind of enhance it so you don't get no signal load, but I really like the passive for what I do. And like I said, mixing the 2 amps with different EQs creates that larger sound because you're not trying to get every sound out of one amp. You can get your bright, lush cleans out of the 410, and then you can get your big, fat low end out of the 15. And then I run the reverb in both of these. This amp didn't come with reverb, but Cesar modified it to have reverb. And this amp has the new custom by Cougar reverb tank. Tommy's issuing a new reverb tank for his modded Fenders that he does. It's pretty wild. So I have it on 3, and it seems like I'm in swimming in the deep sea, you know. And then Cesar's is really splashy as well. And sometimes when you do that, when you got reverb going on both of them, you can get a little ground buzz. So I like to use this, I don't know if I can find it. Yeah, there it is right there. I plug the Diaz into the Ebtech Humex. And that just kind of, any kind of ground hum I would have from running the 2 amps, it kind of just alleviates that problem. And that's it. You know, I just, I kind of get the volumes pretty much. I stand in front of the 2 of them and I just keep adjusting them till they sound like I can't tell which side it's coming out of. And blend them in, and it just gives me a solid, well-rounded tone, you know. And I'll give you a tone, I'll give you a sound clip with just going into the amps. This is just these 2 amps right here. So firing up both amps, I know I have that big 15-inch speaker in the Pro, and those 410s that want to give me that peak. So I get that real. Also get that. You know, in the last video I just did with the Rude Mood style, that was just the 2 amps straight in, just cranked up, and that's my tone. You know, you get. This is the same guitar. I haven't walked away from the camera and touched it. All the cleans still come through. So that's it. That's how I operate with 2 amps. I don't do it for volume. I do it for a wide sound. And if you look at a lot of guys, Jimmy, Billy Gibbons, all the guys we listen to, Rory, all, you know, Stevie, all those guys we listen to, they always had multiple amps on stage because it just provides a big, well-rounded sound. And you don't want to go up there and sound thin. You just want that huge. Like I said, I use a passive splitter. You can try an active. It's entirely up to you. I just know what works for my setup, my guitar, my cables, and that's it. There you go. There's an insight to it. Peace, guys. There's a tech video, and we also did a lick video earlier, so have a good weekend. Everybody be good to each other.